Hey guys, Ben here going through your swing and your video analysis work, and look forward to working with you and going over a couple things that I see in your video. So let's go ahead and get started here. First, I want to talk about in regards to our stance. Stance is in pretty good shape. A couple things I do want to change here in regards to our stance. You'll notice how your feet are kind of turned out on both feet here, so I want to make sure that you're going to turn those feet in, make sure that those knees stay in, they stay inside of our feet. So if I draw those lines, this one's fine, but you can see that that line kind of goes down towards your feet, and I want some good space in between there. The other thing you got to be cautious of, I don't know if you do this all the time, but your feet, you're not lined up, you're a little bit open, and just make sure that when you go through that your swings are more, you're stepping right at the pitcher here to make sure that you're not going to begin to open up, because what happens is we're open and then we end up open too, so that's going to be some issues as you get older, facing faster pitching down the line. When you do stride, you can see you kind of land flat-footed. What I want to do is focus on your front foot here, so let's just focus on that. You can see when you land, you kind of land flat-footed, and what happens is if I'm going to go to the outside part of my foot, you see that front foot begins to open up on us, and then we kind of roll over on that front foot, and we lose a lot of our power here. You can see how that front foot begins to kind of come open. My head finishes out in front, looking at the baseball where it goes and things like that. So something very important for you to do is just to focus on the ball, letting the ball travel and getting deeper and hitting the ball really back inside your feet more when you're hitting here. So looking at this one you get your feet lined up. This one's good in regards to your start. You do have a little bit of movement in the hands. Make sure that your hands don't ever start in the middle of your body. Just make sure that they get back there. Just more of a timing thing to always start with your hands back. Alright, so now you're getting yourself loaded here. Alright, so here's what a couple things we got to fix on your weight transfer here. So this is good. See how your knees are inside of your feet, and you want to always keep that, even when you get yourself loaded back. But you can see as I go get myself loaded, you can see how that knee and all that weight just goes pretty much nowhere, and what that does is this takes away power. So this is not going to be strong. There's so much more in your lower half that you can get involved with, but you can see as I go back, I want to keep that knee inside of our feet. I don't want this knee to go anywhere else besides staying here. I want to be able to draw that line, and I want to be able to have it not touch your foot. But you can see as I draw this line here, as I get back, your knee's drifting outside of your foot here, and that takes away all your lower half power. So this is going to be huge to make sure that when you take pitches, that you have good amount of space, that you can draw that line so your coaches can watch you. When you get yourself loaded, I want your knee to look like that. So what you can do is just take this back foot and you can kind of turn it in a little bit. Take this back foot and just take the heel and put it over here a little bit. Just kind of turn it so what that will do is it'll keep your back knee kind of strong and inside of your feet. If you can watch the Mariners or watch one of the games, you can really see what I'm talking about in regards to getting your lower half. We really got to engage your lower half better, because you have so much more power that you're not using, and it's just going to make a big difference here. So as I go swing, as you start, you kind of start wide, and then you kind of bring your feet together. We got to put your swing into kind of one big motion here. So as you drag that foot, we got to spread out your feet and keep them wider, because when you go to swing, we don't get ourselves wide enough when we hit. We got to kind of put it into one motion. The other thing you'll notice too is that initial stride. That initial stride is out. So if I draw the straight line, you got to make sure that you're going to stay on line. So watch that front foot. You can see you're lined up, but then that first reaction, you can see how that stride foot goes out, and that's going to be an issue in regards to that, because that takes the weight away from your lower half, but it just gets you offline. So you think that strike is now going to become outside, and that's going to totally mess up your swing. So something really to work on to really get that lower half engaged more. The other thing is you'll notice how you're going to be getting jammed, or you're going to be getting late to the ball. We got to again engage that lower half so you're not going to be late to the baseball. Something really to work on is let's try to widen out our feet. We got to put your whole swing into kind of one motion and one um, kind of one thing with no pauses. It has a bunch of pauses in it. You kind of start wide, and then you get loaded, and then you stop, and then you go stride. But again, you're not really using your lower half enough, so it's going to lock you up in regards to your swing here. You can see how I'm late, but I don't have a lot of legs underneath me because so I can't drop my hands into the baseball. So just really important for you to make sure as you go get yourself nice and wide. I want to see, instead of your legs starting here, I think you should start with your knees more bent. I think you should start with your legs about this far apart. But make sure that your feet are lined up. You can see that your feet are not lined up. And I think this is going to make you a much stronger hitter if we can gauge our lower half more. Because again, without that lower half, you can see how close your knees are together, how close your feet are together. Your back leg came off the ground and came forward. You can see how it didn't kind of stay. We really want to hold our finish. So your foot actually starts here, and then as I go in my swing, you can see it moved about a foot, which you won't want it to do. You can see that front foot, how it kind of spun. Now you're on the outside part of our foot. You can see how your knees are too close together. So again, we just have to totally reconstruct your lower half, and this is going to make just a huge difference in our swing. You can see how low your hands finished. At this point of our swing, you want to make sure that your hands finish nice and high, way out here, to make sure that your hands finish there, and again, getting that lower half much more engaged in our swing, and be really violent into the ball is going to make just a really big difference into our swing here. So spread your feet out, get yourself more athletic, get it in one stage. You can see how you kind of tap that foot, and you have some pauses here, and then you're going to go to your swing here after this. So we kind of stride it out. The biggest thing is here, notice on your front foot how you've landed on your heel right there, and that's going to take away power right away. So we've strided out, we've landed on heel. At this point of our swing, you actually want your front heel to be off the ground. You want it to start land on the ball of the foot, the big part of the feet, and then as I rotate, that back heel begins to come down. And so what we're going to do is we're going to reconstruct the lower half first, because there's some work to do in that. And then we got to fix, we have a little bit of casting and locking up issues with the upper body that we'll come to on the next video. But I think for now, I really want you to focus on getting that lower half and really getting engaged. You can see how that back knee's not turning that front heel. You're landing on the heel, and that's going to make us late and not have a lot of foundation. So let's get you a foundation, so then we can work on that upper body and that path on the next video. So I look forward to your next video. Good luck on your work, and we'll chat soon.